And rocking with a clean shave today here on Amateur Sports TV on Coffee with Graeme with your host, Graeme Forsyth. Thanks for joining us today. And this is our first ever show live. We've done all our other shows as a recording beforehand, but we're actually doing it live today to get you guys this show as we got a special guest joining us, AJ Wright. I hope you guys, before we do bring him on, got your cup of Joe or whatever you guys are drinking today. I'm personally drinking water today, changing that up from the regular coffee routine. But yeah, we're going to talk with a guy that just signed a college deal with the Winnipeg Rifles of the Canadian Junior Football League. And before we really bring him on here, I just want to thank all our viewers and supporters for tuning in to this very special edition of Coffee with Graeme here on the network. But let me just there we go. Before we bring him in, we got we got AJ Wright joining the show. And AJ, how's it going, my man?
Going good. How about you? Sorry, my hair's a little bit messy this morning. How are you?
That's all good. I got the same thing going on here. I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. It's a nice sunny day outside, and it's always a great day to talk about sports here on the network. So you just signed a deal with the Winnipeg Rifles. Before we get into that, well, you committed to the Winnipeg Rifles. Before we get into that, I just want to know, when did you start playing football?
When did I start playing football? Honestly, I gotta think about this one. I gotta say, sorry, I'm just gonna plug in my phone.
Okay.
I gotta say, I started playing football when I was at the age of 7. Yeah, so the first year you could start playing football. Started playing with 7 at the Corden Comets. It's no longer a team anymore. I mean, not Corden Comets, Crescentwood Grizzlies, which is no longer a team anymore. Now changed to the Corden Comets.
Nice. So I know you played a bit of rugby in high school along with football as well as your time at St. Paul's, but growing up, was it just football for you, or did you play any other sports?
Growing up, I watched my brother play soccer and football, but I didn't like soccer very much. But he also played baseball, so both me and my brother both played football and baseball. I just kind of did what he did, and I liked watching baseball and football, so those were my two sports growing up.
Yeah, just kind of following what he did and then picking your own preference later on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So why do you choose football to be your main sport over anything else?
Honestly, I thought I was a lot better at baseball than I was football, and but the thing was just football is where my heart was at, and football, I just love to be out on the field with all of the guys. I love hitting people too. So, I don't know another sport where I get to hit someone as hard as I can, and then the crowd would just clap right after.
Well, I mean, there's hockey for that too, right? But football's definitely one of those sports. So, talking about some of the benefits that football brings, obviously, you talked about the hitting as one of your preferences, but what are some of the other benefits you find that football has brought you?
There's a whole lot of team bonding that always happens on a football team because you guys always put like 2 months worth of training all together, and then you guys are always together, so it's literally a brotherhood for those 3 months, 2 months that you guys are playing football together. And, it really brings everybody together. You guys have to work together for whatever goals you guys want to achieve. So I think that's what really brings in everybody.
Nice. Right on. So you talked about you played for, is it Corden? Corden was the first team you played for?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what were some of the other teams you played on growing up before you hit St. Paul's?
So I played Corden, which was called Crescentwood at the time, Crescentwood Grizzlies. So I played there for the first year you can. Took the second year off. So when I was 8 years old, I took the year off. And then when I was 9, I played my last year at Crescentwood. And then when I turned 10, since I was in between two areas, I had to choose, and then Corydon was full for 1 year, so I started playing Fort Garry. So I started playing Fort Garry Lions, and then I just stayed with Fort Garry until I got to high school. So I played for Fort Garry from when I was 10 to 14. Yeah, 10 till I was 14. And then
Nice. Nice.
I won a championship there, and I lost a championship there. Those were my first two.
So you kind of got the best of both worlds there, winning one and then losing one as well. So you said you played there from the age of 10 all the way up till you started playing high school. What were some of the key things you learned from playing on Fort Garry?
Fort Garry, that one definitely taught me grit because when I first started there, I was like I was the main guy, but then that's just because I was one of the older kids. But the next year after that, I was one of the younger kids, and that was a really good team that I played for, and I wouldn't have had a spot unless I like just tried my ass off because everyone was way bigger than me, and I just had to hustle straight through it and get through it, and then I had my playing time and everything like that. So that's what I'd say. And then the coaches there. I love the coaches there. You know, I grew up with a lot of the kids in that area, so
Yeah.
I knew the coaches in the first place. So that was great.
Nice. And you talked about how it was your grit and determination is what really made you better and got you your playing time. So, how would you describe yourself as a player right now? Like, you talk about the grit, you talk about the determination, but overall, how would you describe yourself as a player?
As a player, I would say first it's all up here. It's all up here because I mean I do a lot of time in the film room. Like I just analyze the other team. I just know their tendencies and everything like that. So when it comes to playing in the game, everything's a whole lot slower for myself, just because I've seen this before. I've seen it all before, and it's just a repeat. It's like taking a test a second time, and then you just do a lot better on the test, right?
Yeah.
But after that, I am definitely a very physical player. I love to hit, so I'm a halfback. I'm closer to linebackers. I get to blitz the where all the running backs and QBs are and everything like that. So definitely a smart, want to be gritty player, but I'm very technical. I'd say I'm more of a technical player than uh, than a hard hitting player. But like I could definitely hit whatever I want. But I know exactly how it's supposed to be done and everything like that. Um and yeah, that's about it. I say those are the three main attributes.
So talking about grit, talking about hitting people, how you love to be physical, and also talking about how you're a film junkie. Obviously, it's a big thing in the pros at in any sport too. Watching film, trying to get better, finding out the other team's weakness is such a underrated part of the game that really goes under the rug. For amateur athletes coming up and young athletes that are inspiring to be great, how important do you think it is to drill that into their head that going into the film room is one of the most important things?
Oh, like you know, I would say from the skip from grade 10. Grade 10 is when I started really watching film. Actually, I was forced to watch film because we did it as a team together. But as I wasn't watching film for the first couple of weeks, first, and then it kind of showed. It really showed that I didn't know what was happening out there. Everything was really fast. I was like, that like coaches were telling me that they're gonna do this, and I was like, no, they're not, but I wasn't watching film, so I was just like, I was kind of just lying to myself that they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But then came to the point where I was like started watching film, and then I realized that teams are going to literally do exactly what they do for other teams too. And then every now and then they're going to pull something different for your team. So you may as well be ready for everything that they're going to do and then just stay on your toes for something new that they bring. But I'd say it's definitely the most important part about uh, it's definitely tied for the most important thing in football. But I'd
Yeah.
definitely say I give it a little edge for the most important thing because you got to know what's happening on the field. There's so many different things that could happen,
Right. Yeah.
and you just get so much knowledge out of it.
Yeah. So you said your position is linebacker or is it DB?
I play DB. I play halfback.
So
So,
you play halfback. Did you always start as a halfback growing up, or did you play any other positions growing up?
I played multiple.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was an O lineman, and I remember that was fun. That was fun. I got to hit every play, and I mean I was a little kid, so like it's
Yeah.
not like we were like just destroying each other. You know, you just kind of just run into each other, and you kind of just that. And then after that, I stayed at O lineman for 2 years, my first 2 years. So when I was 7 and when I was 9, but then when I switched over to Fort Garry, they put me at linebacker. That's definitely where I started getting all my hitting abilities and stuff like that. That's where I got comfortable with hitting more and more and tackling. Because I was in that year, I was one of the big shots. So I was like carrying the team. The team wasn't very good.
Yeah.
The first place we were a really young team. So I was one of the only veteran players on the team. So I that's where I had lots and lots of repetition. And then the year after that, I played linebacker again, but I played outside linebacker. Then I played inside linebacker the year after that. So this is when I was 13 and 14 years old, I played outside linebacker and linebacker. And then I switched to DB after that. That was the first
Yeah.
year I played DB. I switched to DB for my bantam year. Played quarter, played quarter, uh, quarter and half. Both those two positions. The coaches didn't like it for me, but I was out that year. I was definitely really undersized, and I wasn't feeling very comfortable in the box there. So I just decided, I was like, after one game, I was like, I'm so beat up. I got to switch out there, and it clicked. I was like the corner. I was the go-to corner if someone needed to be locked
Yeah.
down. So it worked out fine because I still like got so much action because I was only playing like against the best receivers and stuff like that. But I don't know what happened the next year. I think when I first hit high school for junior varsity, I switched to running back. I switched to running back
Yeah.
for the year, and I think what happened was my good friends Lahai and Remy, who were like senior running backs at that time,
Yeah.
uh, who were like underneath my brother's wing before that. They both convinced me to play running back just like my brother, and that year didn't go too well. I got like the least playing time I've ever had in a year,
Yeah.
stuff like that, because we had 4 running backs, and apparently I didn't know what I was doing properly. And then the next year for double A for grade 10, I played
Yeah.
running back again, but in practice before the first week of football, I broke my wrist, and then I tried to play with the cast. I was playing with the cast at running back, but I wouldn't get any time in a game, so that led to me just ultimately changing for good during about the second or third week, because since I had an entire club on my right hand,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm going on like my forearm, so
Yeah.
they didn't want me to hold the ball. I got one carry that for the first 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and just a whole lot of special teams. But then after that third week, I just the coaches really were like, no, you're I played Team Manitoba DB literally the year before that,
Yeah.
but like I just switched to running back just to do it. And then they're like, I know you're like a really good DB. Like there's like an open spot for the team. Like if you do good enough at it right now, like you could definitely start by the next game. So
Yeah.
I did that. Started the next game. It was homecoming actually. Yeah, it was a really big week. So, and I showed out during that game. We played Vince Massey, Brandon. They threw a deep ball, and like it just me and the receiver. And then I knocked it with
Yeah.
my club. I
Yeah.
just straight up punched in the air with my club. And that's when it stayed. I just stayed at DB after that for my grade 10, 11, and 12 year.
Yeah. That kind of fired you up, hey, making that knockdown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely a really big knockdown because
Yeah.
it was like going right in his hands and then like perfectly timed, just punch it straight out of there. And then I had a couple of those during the game. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, talking about playing all these positions, you started off as an O lineman. You really played all across the board. So just
yeah.
for any football players out there, just young football players, do you think it's important for them to kind of get a feel for different positions so they not only get to know what they like, but maybe make them a more well-rounded player all around?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely very important. When you're young, your body's still changing all the time and stuff like that. So, you want to try all these different positions. Like when I went from running back to DB, I knew so much offense that like I just knew what the offense was doing in the first place because I knew what offense's tendencies were, and then like watching film just helped it even more. So I think definitely trying a lot of positions helps because the more positions you know, the more likely you're gonna play, and then the more likely that you know what's actually happening because you want to know what your linebackers are doing, you want to know what your safety's doing and
Yeah.
stuff like that, so you could do what you're doing. Make sure you have protection and do what you're doing properly.
Yeah, and it really gives you a different insight to what all these other positions are doing. I remember Richard Sherman was actually a receiver, and then he switched to corner when he
Yeah.
became pro. And then it really gave him a better insight to what the receivers would do, and it made him a better corner all around. And he's just one of the best corners in the game still. So,
Oh yeah.
any favorite memories growing up from playing with those teams like Fort Garry and stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, those were good memories playing with Fort Gary. I would say our first championship when I was in my first year Pee Wee, like I was playing on the older team, so that's why like I had to really grind to keep that starting spot there. But yeah, first year Pee Wee, we won that championship, and then after that, the next year is an all right year. The next year was probably one of my favorite years actually. After that, when I turned 14, we weren't as good, but like I had like another linebacker with me, and he's like my best friend. And then like our offense was all right, had like really good players, like probably the best player in the league at the time on our offense. And yeah, that was just a really fun year. But that entire team that won the championship when I was in first year Pee Wee, and then when we lost in Bantam,
Yeah.
that entire team was the Vincent Massey team last year that beat us in the championship. That entire team. So I would have been playing with those guys if I went to Massey still, or if I decided to stay with Massey.
Yeah.
But that was a great team, and I understood like it's just really fun to play with all of them. I grew up with those guys. It would have been fun to play even at Massey, I'm sure.
So the main reason why I have you on the show today is you just signed with the Winnipeg Rifles. Big deal for you. Congratulations, by the way. First off, it's a big moment in any
Yeah,
athlete's career when they
thank
make
you.
that. Yeah, yeah, no problem. But it's a big step in any athlete's career when they take that next big step to something bigger and better. But what I want to know first is what about the Rifles interest you the most for you to sign there?
Can you say that again? I honestly, it was really glitchy at that moment.
Yeah, sorry. Are you on Wi-Fi right now? Sorry, we're just
Yeah, I
having some
am.
technical difficulties here. Could you try switching to data, please? So we get better connection here.
No worries. I should reconnect.
Just switch over to data.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Um, we're just gonna take a quick moment here to figure out these technical difficulties. We are live on the air, by the way, right now. Thanks to
There we
everyone
go.
for
That seems better.
tuning in so far. And oh, we got I think
Oh,
we got it back.
oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
This is a troll here.
Of course. All right, Graham. Is this better?
Um, I can hear you, but your screen is frozen. But we'll try to roll with this. So you just signed a deal with you committed to the
Yes.
Winnipeg Rifles in the Canadian Junior Football League. I just want to know what about the Rifles made you the most interested to go there over any other place.
Actually, it's because the Rifles have they have really good deals, and like the team workouts are they're always together, and they're actually sponsored by Kaizen. So, team workouts, we get a full meal after, we get a full nutritious meal sponsored by Kaizen, which is really great. And is the cheapest option to stay here in Winnipeg too. So, they have lots of sponsorship offers, like sponsorships from like other programs to pay for players and stuff like that, and then it's just cheaper than moving out to like BC or Alberta for anything like that. So it was definitely a good choice in that way. And
Yeah,
I kind of want to stay home, have
yeah.
people I know watch me play football.
Yeah, for sure. Keep on building that fan base, and it's always nice to have that option to stay home at such a young age too. I think you just turned 18. Am I correct? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I thought we were cutting out there again, but yeah. So that's definitely a big part in it. You get to stay here. You get all these big sponsorship deals that are potential, and you get to keep on building your fan base here, and you get to stay home too. It's a heck of a deal. Will you be just working during your time there with the Winnipeg Rifles, or any university or schooling?
Actually, I'm planning on going to Red River for business, so I'll be working and I'll be going to school at the same time. Maybe not at the same time. I'll be working and going to school, playing football. Hmm. Going to school and playing football probably, and then I'll work after and before the season, of course. I'm working
Nice.
right now, and then I'll work after the season. Works pretty tightly with school, so hard to balance three things at once.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Of course, when football is clearly the main focus, and then school's obviously there too, and then you add in work. There's a lot going on there, so I definitely do understand how you're just going to do two things at once for sure. Any offers from any other places, or was this the only offer you got?
Um, Actually, I did have offers from other universities, but I didn't have any like big offers or anything like that. Um, like I had offers from U of S, U of Calgary, I had U of M, I had Ottawa, I had Queens. Like those were the main schools that offered me, but they weren't really big offers. Like these are big schools, they cost a lot to go to. I had like $1,000 scholarships. It wasn't like a big enough difference for me that made me actually want to go to the school. So I decided, CJFL after I take 2 years, I'd be going to school for 2 years too at Red River, get a business,
Yeah,
get a business degree, your business thing, and then I'd just transfer after that, and I'd have the opportunity to get a lot bigger of a scholarship for football too.
yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah,
another good thing is for why I chose the CJFL is just instead of sitting on the bench, which would most likely happen on a university team for the first year or two, um, I'm more likely to get playing time. I'll probably start a game or something like that, and then keep it going like that. So spots are more open, and then I get more playing time. Actually develop as a player, and I could have the opportunity to get better scholarship offers from other universities after.
Nice, nice. And I just do want to remind our viewers joining right now, I'm joined by AJ Wright, just signed with the Winnipeg Rifles of the Canadian Junior Football League. We were having some technical difficulties for a second there. AJ unfroze, but he's frozen again. But we're pushing through these difficulties. We're just talking about a signing with the Rifles right now. Just talking about if there are any other offers and stuff like that. So obviously, big step going from high school to the Canadian Junior Football League. What steps are you going to take this off season to really better yourself as a player going in?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, what was the question again? What am I doing in the off season?
Yeah. What are you doing in the off season to prepare for your first season of football in the Canadian Junior Football League? Because we all know that there's always taking that next level, right? You took it when you jumped to
Yeah.
high school. Now you're taking it, jumping from high school to this league now. So what steps do you think you're going to take to get better during this off season, getting ready for camp and stuff?
I mean, I actually started working out like a month and a half ago. Like, started really vigorous workouts again because obviously all the Rifles workouts and were canceled and everything like that. But just a week ago, I hurt my back, so I've been kind of not been able to keep the workouts going right now because I slipped a disc in my back. But I'm on the I'm recovering. I should be able to work out again at full strength in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. But right now I'm just really just doing little workouts. It's lighter weights, and just more reps and stuff like that. But I do plan on doing a little speed training. Got to keep the speed up always because I mean everyone gets bigger, but everyone does get a lot faster too.
Yeah,
That's a good thing for a DB is to stay fast, keep your hips fresh and stuff like that.
yeah. And I got a
But
chance
yeah,
to look. Yeah. Go ahead.
uh, the rifle should be out too, so I do plan on working out with them eventually again. So yeah.
So you're going into a situation where the Rifles last year finished 1-7 and allowed the third most points in the league. How do you think that your game coming in, being a physical DB as you've described yourself, can really transform and shape that defense into something better?
Well, they say that they're they allowed the most points, right? Most scored on team. So I plan on stopping that. Stopping the pass game is always a big thing because you might have really good line back, but if the QB could throw it over you, there's linebackers, they can't really stop anything like that. So, me being a DB, I'm a very technical player and I see the tendencies that everyone does. So I do plan on, getting a lot of interceptions. I know a lot of the DBs, they're actually pretty experienced guys. I have faith in them. I just last year is a younger group of guys. And this year they all seem to be good vets. And plan on turning some of those TDs for the other team into TDs for me and TDs for this team. I plan on getting some pick sixes.
Yeah,
Hopefully our defense
right on.
could really just big. You know, we could be a scoring force. Like we could get
Yeah.
a lot of recoveries and force a lot of fumbles and stuff like that. So looking forward to that because that's something I like to do. I like to strip the ball. I like to be the second person in, go for it. I love fighting for the ball in the air too. So like I'm really physical in that way.
Right. So you're basically going
You know,
against, yeah,
even to
you're going against a lot of boys that are basically men at this point in their football career this season coming up. Do you feel ready to take on that task
yeah.
of playing guys that are maybe twice your age, 3 times your age? Are you ready to take on that task of playing bigger men and taking on guys like that?
Actually, I really am looking forward to it. No, it's not really always about the size of the line. It's about the size of the heart in the line, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident in my game. Worked for it. I know how to play. I know I'm a bigger guy. Of course, there's always a couple bad childs in high school too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you just hit them harder. They fall harder. So throw at them a whole lot faster. Just they don't want to be hit either, right?
Right.
If you hit
Yeah.
them super hard once, they're not looking to get hit by you again, right? So they'll start slowing down for you when they see you coming and stuff like that. So it's definitely a mental game in that way too, because sometimes I've hit like a really big player, and then he's choosing not for me to hit him again. He's trying to avoid that at a lot of costs, just because it hurts both of us. But I mean, I try to make it hurt more for them.
Right. Right. So you're coming in as the new guy into a locker room. You said you kind of know some guys on the DB core, but I'm assuming you don't know all the men on that roster, obviously. And first impressions are such a big thing in sports sometimes. What first impression are you hoping to really have on that locker room and on that coaching staff on day one?
Um, Honestly, my first impression I'm hoping for, I like to be funny. Funny guy. You always gotta have a funny guy, but
Yeah.
I'm like the funny guy who get like switch it a sec. Get serious to the second. It's on right there, stuff like that. So just an intense funny guy. I guess you could say that.
Yeah, and that's really good because that's your personality, and you really want that to shine through, of course, when you're making first impressions anywhere. So we talked about your game a bit earlier in this episode. What would you say right now, going into camp right now, would be the best part of your game to you personally?
I mean, if I were to go to camp right now, I'd definitely probably say my hitting is my best ability right now. But you know, if I did have this injury right now, maybe not hitting it, maybe just the coverage part. But my I try to keep my hitting and coverage at the same level all the time. As not really have one skyrocket over the other or anything like that. But I'd probably say yeah, the coverage. To be honest with you, I really exceeded in coverage this year, so probably the coverage.
Nice, nice. And is there anything in your game that maybe you're looking to work on in year one here? Maybe your confidence, maybe it's something else. Is there anything that you feel in your game could need improvement?
Um, no, I think the coverage always can improve because every of these guys do get faster and stuff like that. But I'm trying to learn a lot more of the game too, right? This is a big step. We're playing with a bunch of different systems and stuff like that. So you gotta learn these systems and stuff like that. So I feel like I could improve mentally and learn these new offensive systems that I'm going to be playing against and learn the new defensive system that the Winnipeg Rifles want to implement.
Nice. I was going to ask you about St. Paul's here, but these technical difficulties are absolutely horrendous right now. So I'm going to leave you off with this question. You're going into camp as the new guy, a lot of motivation. You play with a chip on your shoulder. What motivates you the most going into year one and just day one right from the bat, or right off the bat, as I should say?
Um, I play the game, for my brother, for my sister, for my family, So I mean, that's the chip on the shoulder. I don't really live with them anymore, but I still play the game for them, and with them, they come support me all the time. So I play with them because my brother's his career ended early, so he loves to watch me play football. He loves to watch me succeed. I'm trying to do what he would have done. At the same time.
Nice. Well, right on, AJ. It was great talking to you today, man. Good luck in the upcoming Canadian Junior Football League season, and hopefully, when and if you join me again on Coffee with Graeme, the technical difficulties aren't this bad. But once again, man, thanks for joining the show, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya. Take care.
And I don't think AJ could hear me, but yeah, AJ Wright here today on Coffee with Graeme, stopping by with your host, Graeme Forsyth. And wow, our first live show. Hopefully, we got the viewers. If not, it's okay. But yeah, thanks to everyone for joining the show today and tuning in to the first ever live version of Coffee with Graeme here on Amateur Sports TV. And seems like the show's been getting a lot of great responses. Just all the shows across the network have been getting great responses during this trying time, during this pandemic, and just this horrible time in the world. We thank you guys for really dedicating your time and joining us live here today and just watching all our shows across the network. Of course, you got the Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, just other great shows coming to the network as well. And of course, here on Coffee with Graeme, we can't be more thankful than we are for all the support we've been getting with the show. Been getting a lot of good feedback, and we're thankful for that. So we thank you guys. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today here on Coffee with Graeme, and I've been your host, Graeme Forsyth. Until next time, grab your cup of joe, sit back, stay safe, enjoy all our other great shows here on the network, and until next time, I'm signing off.